I don't know why, there we go. Okay. So here we have a posting from Rita Jabour, who is our co-op planner. And then we have, goodness gracious. We have a shared post from the Essex BIA, so it's a great way for us to share information, and as you know, the whole premise behind Facebook is for people to like it and to reshare it. So the more traffic that we have coming to the Facebook page will again help people become more engaged with economic development and planning within the municipality, and it will also help them come to our website to find out more about what's going on in town. The page will be managed by myself and by Rita, but the communications manager will ultimately be the administrator of the site, which means she will have to approve the posts. All the posts will be scheduled so that they're not coming up immediately. They'll come up at later times during the day, which means when people come home from work, which is generally when they start looking at their Facebook page, this information will be fresh. So it's beneficial that way. There'll be a media release tomorrow announcing that the Facebook page has been created and that it'll be there for people to view. So what I'm encouraging council to do is to like and share the page so we can start garnering those people who share the information with everybody in their network. So hopefully it'll help us get information out about the town on a much more timely basis rather than using the traditional newsletter, which we'll still continue to use, but this will be for more day-to-day things. In fact, I ran across 3 different things today on my way home that we could be posting as of tomorrow. So, any questions from council?
Any questions? No? Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I like
you.
it. Here's just another sample of a picture I took this morning going into work on the Colavino Business Park. We'll be able to have people come read this thing and find out more about the information that's there. And then from a shot that's in Essex Center about the little shop of cupcakes getting ready for Valentine's Day. So a lot of the information will be of general interest, but at the same token, there'll be a lot of things put on about the upcoming tourism conference, for example, would be a good thing for people to see on Facebook.
Thank you. If there are no questions, motion to receive and/or receive and approve. Councillor Bunny, Councillor Keckler, he had his hand up first, but Councillor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ann.
Item 8, correspondence. 8A, information for receipt relating to registration for the 2016 AMO AGM annual conference.
Councillor Bunny moves, supported by Councillor Keckler. Councillor Bunny.
Thank you. I just wanted council to be aware of the Monday night, August 15th, we have a council meeting, and that's also the night that AMO is hosting their workshops around the county. So I don't know if there's appetite from council to attend the workshops. I know Councillor Vokes won't go, but I have an interest in going. So if we have 2 or 3 or 4 council members interested in going, then we might not have quorum at our meeting. So I just wanted to see if there was appetite for council to move the our council meeting, or to enough of us remain back and make sure we have quorum.
Well, I think we have ample amount of time to, question ourselves as to whether we want to. Yeah, thank you very much for bringing that up. Don't let it drop off the table, though.
Well, if we're registering for early bird, then we have to register, right? We really don't have that much time. Plus, people are planning their summer vacations, and residents want to know in advance, too, when we're meeting.
Councillor Keckler.
Through your worship, yeah, I certainly wanted to see this item brought up tonight also, so that for those that do want to take advantage of going to the conference, since it's in our backyard, if they could register prior to the early bird cutoff, it saves the municipality probably about $100 or better per person, so I am interested in attending, and certainly I wouldn't see any problem with, and I'd support moving our meeting from that Monday to another Monday or to another day that week.
Okay. I agree with you. Same. I'd do the same thing. Councilor Volks.
I want to make something clear here. I got no problem with people going to conferences. But just a note of interest in terms of attending conferences is prior to the holidays, I was declined remuneration in terms of a submission because it didn't fit the policy. And I want to friendly remind my colleagues on council, we have been going to conferences, people have been attending conferences, and the policy states very clearly that within 2 months of attending that conference, you have to report back to council what you learned or what you extracted out of that conference attendance. And there has been not one person give a report back with tens of thousands of dollars being spent going to conferences. Not one person.
Who wants to be the first one? Councilor Caxero.
Through your worship, I would challenge you, Councillor Volks. When I went to the tourism conference last year, I came back with a lot of information, and in one of our meetings in the back room, I actually shared quite a bit of it with us. Had a lot to do with budget, and I certainly do come back, usually with a bag full of information from the conference.
Thank you, sir.
If I could?
Oh, Councilor Volks.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. Need I remind you, Bill, friendly, in a friendly gesture. The policy says very clearly that you're to present it at council. It's a presentation to be delivered here at council, not in the back room uptown, here, for all the taxpayers to see what they're paying for.
Okay. Remember that when we go to conference. Do we have a motion on the table? I think so. Okay. Receive this. All in favor? Motion carries.
Item 8B, correspondence from Federation of Canadian Municipalities relating to 2016 Annual Conference and Trade Show to be received.
Deputy Mayor Malash, supported by Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item 8C, correspondence from 1710690 Ontario Inc. with respect to naming of the new road in Colovino Business Park for receipt and/or receive and approved.
Motion to receive and approve? I would hope. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Councilor Snively supports. Any questions? Welcome, sir. And all in favor? Motion carries.
Item 8D, a petition re-support of the McGregor Health Center for receipt.
Councilor Caxero moves, supported by Councilor Volks. Any questions? Councilor Volks.
I bring great concerns about just receiving this petition because it speaks volume, obviously, irrelevant to the financial position and the dire needs of financial support of the nurse practitioner office or clinic in Leamington. If you look up, it says volumes to what the requests of the people are. And when I look at a hamlet such as that of McGregor in terms of population density, and there's 400 signatures, that speaks pretty loud. So, and again, we're coming into budget deliberations. I know the young lady up there, along with Mr. Baker, was here, and they were talking obviously about the need for some financial support. I know that the indicators had said we should involve Amherstburg to have the discussions, which I don't know how far we got with that, but I don't want to risk losing that nurse practitioner's clinic. I don't. for the sakes of some minimal funding to do that. We say all indicators would suggest, as I questioned earlier, in terms of our policing with the new formula, as the mayor had indicated, that we have saved to date, one would suggest, even though it's only assumed money in terms of doing comparables to municipal policing, but we have saved millions of dollars in terms of that service when it comes to policing. So I don't know why a period of money that represents, I think, 25,000 or something like that is so hard to come by in terms of keeping such a productive clinic open for the people in that area. I really would like to hear what Deputy Mayor Milosh has to say in terms of representing his people, because I sometimes think the people in McGregor don't get really the harvest that people as in Ward 1 do. And if we can have a clinic there open for them at their needs, we should be doing that. So I'm just concerned with just receiving this petition, because people who don't understand the political process are going to say tomorrow, what did they do with our petition? They just received it. That's it. They just received it. So in the interest of Deputy Mayor Milosh and his constituents, in the interest of us as a municipality in terms of being a service provider, as it relates to that, we should be looking at ways to keeping that open. I think it's imperative we do that.
Deputy Mayor Milosh?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Vokes, for bringing this up. I've been inundated with calls from residents in the area. They're very disheartened to believe that clinic could potentially close as of the end of March. I know everyone is looking for dollars. I know that our administration has sat down with the town of Amherstburg, and I think Amherstburg's between a rock and a hard place in trying to come up with money to try and make that place function. And just recently, there's been an agreement that the town of Essex is going to help with the operating costs of the McGregor Community Center itself, like the entire building structure. So they feel now that they've actually put their money into the building, because we're giving free rent and free utilities, or lower than market, I would say. So we've taken the position that that's what we've done to try and ensure, that that place can continue running as a medical facility. And I know that we've looked at trying to not jump in to aid in the sense of having a clerical person, but in order for that not to close, we may have to relook at this, because I think the avenues are starting to close in where we're not going to have an opportunity to keep it running. So we may want to look at that again through our budget process. I know we're meeting again Thursday night. We may want to put that on the agenda to discuss, to see if we can relook at the budget to try and figure out a way to help encourage. I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but the Harrow Family Health Team, who's the proponent that's fulfilling the role of ensuring that we have a nurse practitioner there, has been hit with a little bit of a difficulty. You'll see later in the bylaws here that, and also present in the audience here, our nurse practitioner is leaving the Harrow Family Health Team and wants to move in with another local doctor that's taking over Dr. Carswell's practice. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the situation. That may be the death throw right there if Harrow Family Health Team loses another practitioner. So we'll have to see the outcome, and maybe we can have further discussions about it.
Thank you very much, sir. Councillor Vokes?
Thank you, Your Worship. I appreciate that. I think in terms of understanding where we go with it, recognizing Thursday is another segment of our budget deliberations, I think what we should do is maybe look at a direction to administration to talk to Merle Baker and his assistants on what that dollar looks like today, and then bring that into budget deliberations and see if we can find a way in our budget deliberations to support that. Either we can or we can't. But with today being being Monday, and I don't know Mr. Baker's schedule nor this lady's schedule, but maybe we could make that happen, to meet with Mrs. Hunter and Mr. Phillips, to get that number on the table for council to understand in our budget deliberations. I don't want to lose that clinic. I don't know if she would or not, because the last time Mr. Baker, or even this lady up here, if I could, may know it. Ms. Hunter?
Donna, please.
Through you, Your Worship, I did meet with Margot Riley and Merrill Baker in the town of Amherstburg last week. I can certainly have a discussion with Margot tomorrow morning. We've had a lot of connection back and forth recently, and I can have some information for our meeting on Thursday.
Thank you very much. Councilor Vogt?
Yeah, if council would support that, I really think we should do that. At least we know going into Thursday's deliberations exactly what we're looking at.
Yep. Donna's already said what will happen tomorrow morning. Thank you, sir. We have all in favor of the motion?
Yeah.
Received. Thank you. Pass.
Item 9, committee meeting minutes. Item 9A, Personnel Committee, November 18th, 2015, receipt and adoption of those minutes.
All minutes? Okay. And supported by Councilor Bjorkman. I think this was November the 18th meeting. That's the one personnel meeting that the Mayor Malash and Deputy Mayor Malash that was the one that, the only mistake I found in all of those reports when I was going over them. It was moved to close the meeting by Mayor Malash and seconded by Deputy Mayor Malash, so we just need that correction. So, had a busy day that day, I'll tell you. Okay?
Randy has amended.
Has amended, okay. Councilor Vogt, yep. And right, okay, the seconder was Stevie. That's okay? Okay. Thank you very much. All in favor of the motion? Motion carries.
Okay. Next is item 11, new business. Item 11A, Councilor Snively.
Councilor Cachero?
Through your worship, just wondering if under financial, we did receive financial statements, I believe, for January, the bank statements. Are we going to be receiving those or not till next meeting? Next meeting? Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Councilor Snively?
Thank you, Your Worship. This item here is about the Colchester School property, which was up for discussion tonight already. We've owned the property for about 8 years. That property sat there. It's been vacant for 8 years. And I strongly believe that we're taking good money and we're putting good money into a white elephant. This is a piece of property. At the time, council agreed to buy it, and that was their decision back then. But I'm looking at this property now, and I'm getting an outcry from the public that we keep sinking money into this building every year. And yes, I've got a figure of $750 a year. Well, I believe it's stronger than that because we do cut the grass, we got to maintain the property, we got to pay for the help. So I know there's an endangered species of a bird. What's that called again? Chimney swift? I've talked to IRCA today, and IRCA's going to look into it. If there's a possibility that we can sell that property when they are not mating, during the season of mating. I would like to see this property appraised, get an appraisal on it, and I'd like to see the property put up for sale. And let's put our money
into something more well-spent, infrastructure, or parks or something, but I think this is a piece of property that we should unload. Thank you much. And I'd like to make a motion, I will make a motion that we do get it appraised to see what it's worth. Thank you.
Do we have a seconder? Okay, Councillor Vokes with comment? Okay, and then Councillor Bjorkman.
I know everything comes into play in this, Townley, what we can do with it, the value of the property, all of it. But I can't remember when we purchased that. When is it you suggested we? I think it was 8 years ago. Yeah, whenever it was. And I know we had some, in all due respect to Councillor Ennis at the time, there was, and all of us on council at the time had some grandiose ideas what we were going to go do at that schoolhouse, and the reality is it's never come to fruition. It's never harvested anything, and for years we've been keeping it up, and as years go by, the value of it's going down. And for every minute that goes by, the value goes down. One would suggest as it gets older, it might be worth more. I would assume it wouldn't. So I agree with Councillor Snively. I think it's one of those pieces of real estate we own that has no short-term plan in what we're doing as a council collectively. And I think that in the interest of what we're doing there is just to reprieve ourselves of the responsibility of that building, get a real estate value, and sell it. And I don't think we need to let animals in a chimney stop us from. I'm sure they can get them out of there somehow. And
Okay, Councillor Snively, just hang on. We have, you are? Well, I'm going to give everyone a chance before I come back to you, and you'll get a second shot at it. Seems how we have a motion on the floor. You have the last comment. Anyone else to the motion? Councillor Snively.
Yeah, just one last thing. I know we have $518,000 tied up in this building now, right, Donna? It's 518? 510,000. Our purchase price at the time was
Through you, Your Worship, the purchase price was $330,000.
So $330,000, we're up to 510 now, and we've done nothing with the building. It hasn't been occupied. We have never rented it out. We've done nothing with the building. So I agree with Councillor Vokes. It's time to move on. Let's get an appraisal, put her up for sale, and we'll deal with the endangered species through the ministry and through IRCA. They can work with us, but I think it's time to unload it, get the appraisal. What it's worth is what it's worth, and let's put our money into something that's going to get a return. Thank you.
Okay, everyone know what the motion was? Yep, okay. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Okay, item number 12, notices of motion. We have a notice of motion on the town's procedural bylaw number 548 as amended, specifically section 7.1 on council agendas, that be amended to remove agenda item new business from the composition of that agenda.
And if I may, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to turn the chair over to our Deputy Mayor Malash, because I'm involved in this, and I'm not going to be asking questions of me and the other parties, so thank you, Deputy Mayor Malash.
Who would like to speak on the motion? Councillor Vokes?
yeah, thank you. I'll start the discussions because I assume there'll be some here to it. I appreciate the fact that the opportunity of removing, the new business from the agenda is probably something that is seen as time-consuming. Administration gets addressed with issues they're not readily to deal with, but I guess the bottom line in terms of new business, it's a great tool to use to try to deal with short-term solutions as they're brought to your attention. Actually, I had two things tonight I was going to bring forward under new business, and responsibly I missed the opportunity when we opened up to put it in there. But with all that being said, let's not like kid one another. The truth is that when it comes to new business, It's not something that mandates us to be here and, forever and a day. Usually the new business items come back in terms of a report. Okay. It's asked to come back in terms of report. It's not something that ends up being in longevity till the wee hours of the morning. And I don't know how many things we get resolved as a result of having that new business opportunity there. And so I don't think the new business portion of our council meetings is a tool we would want to remove, because I think it's a real asset in terms of getting things completed in a timely fashion. So that's my views on it. I'd be very interested to see what the rest of council would like to say.
Thank you, Councillor Vokes. I have Councillor Snively up next.
Through you, Deputy Mayor, I have to agree 100% with Councillor Vokes. There is some issues that do come forward that we're not aware of until probably a few days before the council meeting. And some issues, as far as I'm concerned, are important, and they should be brought forward. So I would be against moving that new business out of our regular council meetings. Thank you.
Mayor McDermott, did you want to speak at this moment? I couldn't.
Yes, I sure do, sir. Through the chair to all of us, the last gentleman said something about important issues. I thought this was a very important issue. Months ago, many months ago, I've heard from some of the council members, why don't you start being the mayor? So he says, it's about time I started being the mayor then. But then, I started being the mayor, and next thing I hear is, why don't you start being the mayor? I don't know what the difference is, but there's obviously a difference when I do what I should be doing here, and I'm doing it, and when certain council members didn't feel I was doing my job. Very important issue. Why? I have 6 members of council sitting here tonight. How many of you called me? Ask me, why would you not call the mayor and ask him, what are you talking about here, Toe? Like, where are you coming from? Well, I'll tell you, this goes back, previous council. The word transparency, I've never forgot that word. We had Councillor Baker, Councillor Scott, Councillor Bondi, brand new council members. And those were the 3 people that stressed transparency. They felt we as a council in the past weren't very transparent. Hey, made sense. Yep, we're on the web page, we're on television now. Transparency boils down to this piece of paper right here. You have till, I believe it's Tuesday afternoon, to get on the agenda for new business. There it is. It's back here. New business. You have till Tuesday. Everyone in the municipality, including us council members and staff, have the same opportunity to get something on here. The reason being, administration can bring something to us with regards to that. On Thursdays, top administration and the mayor goes through this agenda and approves everything, or the mayor has the right to take things off new business. And it's happened in the past, as you all know. Like we have one tonight. Stayed on there because it made sense to leave it there. Great. That's great. Some people think that I'm trying to hold back business moving the town forward. I've got them in a couple of emails, so they can't deny it. That's not what this is about. It's about being transparent and giving our staff an opportunity to present each and every one of us. I come here some nights, on Monday nights, as all the other council members do, and some have says, wow, I wish I'd have heard something about that before. I can't make a decision on this. I don't know anything about it. And that's what happens. That's transparency. Those 2 guys up there might have been here because there's something in here they wanted to see. Some people that usually sit maybe over here said, there's nothing on the agenda tonight, I'm going to stay home. But these 5 or 6 things that we bring up at the start of the meeting may have been one or two of the items that they wanted to come and hear about. What are they doing? They're sitting at home because they know nothing about it. Transparency. I'll never forget that word because it was a great word that these 3 council members, and I'll blame the 3 of them for bringing that great idea to us. It was perfect. But it hasn't been happening with this council. This council brings up too many things, and like I heard, it doesn't take very long. We're not here to midnight. No, but there's been the odd night when it's probably taken us as long to do these new things than it did to do our agenda, you know? And how many times have we thrown administration under the bus because we've asked them, what about this? And they come up, oh, haven't got anything, you know? And we criticize them because they don't know. Finally, I said,